Do you believe that professional players are ruining video games based on their complaints and their outspoken ideas on what the game should be doing? And do the devs only listen to pro players? Those are two questions. Let's go ahead and react to this gamer and see what he has to say.
Gamers ruin video games, specifically Pro League, esports, and streamers. Take a look at Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Overwatch.
Pause. I do not think Overwatch was ruined by pros. Overwatch was ruined by the developers not enacting change over long periods of time. They had horrible metas that were so boring to play, and they just never changed anything. Like initially, the one meta I remember at the very start that was awful was Mercy, wow, my Mike Tyson, / Moth meta. That was awful. I do not think any professional player would say we should definitely give Mercy the ability to revive a teammate, ult, and then instant revive another teammate. That was just the devs trying to make a character that's really popular better. And they kept it that way forever. And in a game like Overwatch, it was just nothing but Mercies all the time. Dude, you'd log in and play Overwatch, and it's like, I'm not playing Mercy, I'm not playing Mercy. Like, you would either have to play Mercy or just lose most of the time. Like, that's what killed the game for me initially. So I don't think the pros did that.
And the best example of them all, Rainbow Six Siege.
I never played that.
The changes that devs make to those games are based primarily on what the big-time players want to happen.
I don't think that's true either. I think that developers have their own ideas for what the game's doing and going on, and they will listen to like the complaints that professionals have and people who have platforms because it's easier to hear that. But they also listen to the community in some aspects, like Reddit. Like they'll see like a giant post be uploaded and be like, maybe that's a problem. They'll look into these issues, these concerns the player base has, and then they'll act accordingly with what they already want to do with the game. I think that folks don't realize how often these changes that are made in games are made in massive advance. I mean massive advance. In Apex, for instance, we had a scan meta that people complained about. Guess what? We had, well, it was like Bloodhound scan meta, right? What happened the next time, like the next season? We get Seer, who's even more of a scan meta character. He's replacing Bloodhound in that sense. I don't believe the pros are like, we need more scan characters, guys. Let's effing go. And not to mention, people are saying the pros are ruining video games. The community doesn't realize what's actually good for the game. They play it, they enjoy it, and they're scared of change. That is what ruins games. Lack of change can kill a game. Bad change can also kill a game, but I think that it's worse to not make any change at all than to try and improve a game in the first place. That's just food for thought, you know what I'm saying? Just food for thought.
Phase this, TSM whatever, TTV that.
I'm passionate,
They
bro.
get killed by a Jaeger with an ACOG, and they go complain
my name, by the
to
way.
Ubisoft to make them take it out of the game.
Or Hunter.
And the change that really inspired this video was Respawn taking self-revive out of the game because the professional players complain that it's too OP in late game. This is what they're complaining about.
This is very disingenuous, I'll have you know. He has this Revenant who knocks himself self-reviving and just defying range. I don't think they realize just how stupidly powerful this item is. This is just not a good example of what it actually does. And there's so many ways where you can hide the gold res knock. You can thermite your teammate who's self-reviving. You can shield them with Newcastle. You can bubble them with Gibraltar. You can just protect them. You can smoke them out. Like, there's so many abilities in the game you can use to try and actually make that self-res way easier. You can play aggressive so they can't even hear it and know what's going on. Like, you can do so many things. Like, playing smarter makes this absolutely broken. But people don't recognize that. They're just like, it's just self-res. If you can't handle it, you're just bad. Like, that's what, dude, that's killing games nowadays. People and this get good or you're bad mentality, when half the time the folks who say that are bad themselves.
I'm sorry,
This thing,
if you
bro.
couldn't kill that, if someone used that and got a kill on you, they deserve to win. Back in the day, we used to say, get good.
Oh, shit.
As in, get better at the game. Don't go cry to the devs to make it easier for you. Oh, Bungie, the plasma pistol battle rifle combo's too OP. Nerf it, take it out of the game. No one did that. If the professionals want a change made, change it in their leagues. Give them a custom game mode. Don't punish the rest of us who have had no problem with it.
I mean, when you say the rest of us, what does that exactly mean? Because I'm not a pro player, but I agree with many of the takes that some pro players have. For instance, the Kraber nerf being justified and gold knock / self-revive needing a change. I didn't expect it to get removed, but I knew it needed to be changed, or I wanted it to be changed in some way. So I'm glad it's, having a change being made. One thing I do not agree with whatsoever, though, is the recent ranked changes. This is where it gets kind of messed up. And this is where if you're talking about ranked and the changes they made to ranked based on the pro player feedback, I'd be on your side 100%. But you're talking about self-revive. So ranked has directly influenced and impact Apex in a negative way. It's just a horrible experience for anyone playing by themselves. Like, it's tremendously bad. So if you were saying that, I'd be with you 100%. But gold knock / self-revive is in some cases unreadable. Yeah, sometimes you can hear it across the map, you can hear it from very far. Other times you can't, and there are situations where people get gold self-revive like at the very beginning of the game, and you're not expecting that. And that plays a large role in you losing a fight sometimes. Because you knock a guy, you see his two teammates in Narnia, like, okay, that knock guy's chilling, right? He's vibing. He's reviving, and we had no idea. And he comes back and he freaking turns the tides because you have a guy blowing your back out from behind you. You had no idea what's happening. So there's definitely cases where it just isn't fair. And the BRs do have RNG. That's an innate factor of BRs. It doesn't mean it can't be somewhat balanced. And the devs in this case are trying to make it more balanced. Without balance, the game absolutely dies. Folks are out here like, the Kraber should definitely one-shot. You know a game that had a weapon that could one-shot and it just ran unchecked? Hyperscape. In Hyperscape, they had all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, the movement in that game was insane. The guns in that game were insane. The TTK in that game was insane. And it's dead. Because you have to have some level of readability for the players and some level for the casuals to sort of experience and actually handle the gameplay. And Apex is doing a pretty good job of giving that experience to folks because people still play Apex even though the game is an absolute respawn simulator right now. It's rough. I will say I'm going to miss self-revive, but I'm glad to see change. Gamers do kill games, but I don't think it's the pros. I think it's the community. The folks who want to hold back a game from making changes are the ones who kill video games.